Well, let's talk about the week one victory that the Chargers had, and that was against our Las Vegas Raiders. Let's start with this. Cody, we got about 12 minutes before we need to move on. So just giving you that heads up.
All right.
No, that's mainly for me. Anyway, main takeaways from the game.
You can tell Carr basically was trying, I don't want to say trying to do hero ball, but I think he took some chances and the pressure got to him. So I think that made his decision-making a little bit questionable. There was 2 underthrown balls that, had he put a little bit more on it, wouldn't have gotten picked off, maybe incomplete. The Raiders did try to make a comeback towards the end and almost got there. But I think, you commit, 5 turnovers total, and then you try to claw your way back in the game, which is really tough. I felt like we played really good. I was really encouraged by our defense and our secondary, all things considered. Even though we gave up a lot of those turnovers, our defense was able to kind of, not give up anything more than a second half touchdown, and that was it for the rest of the game. But, we beat ourselves. Our offense looks really good. I'd like to see Carr spread the ball around a little bit more, which I was surprised that he didn't. I get it that he wanted to get, Davante Adams involved, which I was happy for. But, he had an overwhelming 17 targets, and he had more than half of Derek Carr's completions, which is not a bad thing. It's just, we have other weapons that we could utilize, such as Waller, Winfro, maybe some of the other receivers, maybe using some of our running backs in the screen game, maybe the run game, which kind of came to life in the second half, but we just didn't have any of it in the first half. So those were my main takeaways. I'm encouraged, though, that we will bounce back in week 2, but, we're able to compete as long as we don't beat ourselves. And I think that was my main takeaway.
Yeah, I think a lot of things I agree with you. The offensive line was a big takeaway for me. That was an issue. I've seen some people who are saying, Carr should have stayed in the pocket. Listen, Khalil Mack, for the most part, was beating whoever was on him. It didn't matter if it were Colton Miller, who arguably is our best offensive lineman, or anyone else. Khalil Mack was a beast. And that's why Raider fans didn't want to get rid of Khalil Mack in the first place. This is the reason. He is a game wrecker, and he absolutely wrecked that game. Now, do I think it helped that Joey Bosa was on the other side? Yeah, but I would say Khalil Mack was overall the best player on that defense in that game. Asante Samuel Jr., though, he was quite a beast there too. So, talking about Carr's 3 picks, listen, he underthrew a couple of them. One of them was just a great play by a linebacker, and it was Carr's fault as well for not seeing him. The underthrow to Davante Adams towards the end zone. It looked like Adams was looking for a flag. It wasn't a flag. It was a pick.
Yeah.
Underthrown. I have no problem with the ref swallowing his whistle on that one and letting that go, because to me it's not a PI. So I will gladly admit that. But listen, Carr was trying to make it a statement to go to Davante Adams throughout the whole game, show you, hey, I can get the ball to Adams however I want. And for the most part, I think he did. Again, he had the 1 pick, and I'll live with that. It wasn't that bad to me, because where they ended up starting the ball at, I didn't have that big of an issue. You throw a pick, make it where it's not an easy way for the Chargers to score a touchdown or get, at least a field goal. So, as much as I don't want to see interceptions, listen, the offensive line was bad. I think Carr's, internal clock was quicker. And so I think he was just trying to force a lot of things, not seeing the field very well. And listen, he didn't play all preseason. So this is kind of his preseason. So I'm not going to be the least bit surprised if it takes Carr, 3 games to really get into the groove of the game. So again, we're literally on week 2 now. I'm not going to panic about, the Derek Carrs, the offensive line. Listen, we've already been depleted on offensive line. We didn't really start any of our starters in the preseason on the offensive line. So listen, they're all still learning. I would have liked to have gone to Hunter Renfrow a little bit more. Josh Jacobs, really, can I be frank? The Chargers could not stop Josh Jacobs. Yeah. They could not stop him. But because we were playing from behind majority of the game, we really couldn't go to him as often as we wanted to. So that was encouraging that Jacobs was looking like that, man. He was looking real good. So, that was encouraging, especially if you're looking at offensive line issues. I think that was encouraging for your offensive line is, hey, at least our running game is going. So we have one of the 2 things that we need to get done. Let's get the second one a little short up. So I'm not going to panic yet, but I was also another main takeaway that I had was there was no pass rush on Justin Herbert. I mean, Crosby, I think he had a couple of quarterback pressures. I don't remember seeing Chandler Jones, and that was a little discouraging because we signed him to a big contract. We're paying him good money. Raiders fans were really excited to see him, and pretty much we didn't see him that whole game. So, would like to see more. But anyway, I was encouraged, and I don't know. I wasn't depressed. Of course, I was upset that we lost, but I was a little down on the offensive line and no pass rush. But again, it's week 1. I'm not going to panic yet. If we're in week 7, week 8, and our offensive line and defensive line is still looking like that, then I'm going to start being a little concerned. But for right now, I'm going to stay calm. There was a lot of encouraging things. Listen, we were still in the game. We shouldn't have been in the game. And the penalties were way down for us, which I don't remember having a game like that for the Raiders in a long time with hardly any penalties. So a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but you know what? You're going to build on the bad things. It's a long season. I was encouraged. I have no issue with the way we lost.